Ready?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Kevin Calloway, and my claim being responded to is cutting government-funded art subsidies will harm our culture and schools. My opponent's secondary claims included, first, access to the arts and are crucial for education and welfare. Second, there are economic benefits from the subsidized arts. And third, without subsidies, many of the arts would fail. My response to this secondary claim, number one, is access to the arts are crucial for education and welfare. It was stated that the NEA proclaimed that we need to make our open spaces beautiful again. We must create an environment in which our young will be encouraged to pursue the discipline and craft of the art. We must not only support our artistic institutions, both national and local, but we must also make the arts part of our daily life so that they can become an essential part of our existence. The NEA is the National Endowment for the Arts. This quote is biased due to the fact that they have jobs on the line if the art diminishes. The second in that claim was, according to Richard Kelser, from years of experience, we know that good schools have the arts. From school trips to museums and concert performances to visual arts and music and dance classes in the schools, the benefits are incredibly rich and profound. Richard Kelser's statement is a fallacy because it has no factual evidence or statistical support to show that his claim is proven or true, therefore making this statement invalid. A response to the secondary claim number two is there are economic benefits from the subsidized arts. It was stated, according to NEA, the arts supply 5.7 million full-time equivalent jobs. This is the total number of jobs the arts supply. The main claim deals with the government-funded arts, which is a small fraction of that number, if any. Second, it generates tax revenue and income, according to the NEA. $104.2 billion in household income, $7.9 billion in local government tax revenues, $9.1 billion in state government tax revenues, and $12.6 billion in federal income tax revenues. This is also the total number of jobs the arts supply. All these subsidies and private funding would account for these numbers. However, the government subsidies are hidden in these numbers in much smaller numbers. The response to the secondary claim number three, without subsidies, many of the arts would fail. It was stated many support for the arts will diminish. One example from artinfo.com, the Metropolitan Museum of Art decided to eliminate 74 positions, or 27% of its full-time and 9% of its part-time staff. The museum also anticipates that it will have to cut staff in the remaining departments by approximately 10% as of July 1st. This info has very little connection to cutting the government-funded art subsidies. There's a lot more causes that could have led to this, like being in a recession. Part of that could have been from the extensive use of the internet research tool and a lack of people wanting to go to a museum when they can find out the history on a phone to a computer in the kitchen. However, this does not say there will be a decrease in private money spent on art. According to the NEA, government funding accounts for 10% of financial support for the arts. Without this, ticket prices will increase, causing less revenue in ticket sales, and pressure on private donators will increase heavily. According to NATO, National Association of Theater Owners, in 2009, there were more U.S. movie screens than in the last 20 years. Highest average ticket price in the last 60 years, and the highest box office gross in the last 20 years. According to NATO, the average ticket price in 2009 was $7.50. If the 10% that came from government subsidies were no longer paid, then the ticket would increase to $8.25. This is about how much tickets have increased in the last 2.5 years. Therefore, without the government subsidies, many of the arts would feel an effect. However, it would be so minor that it could be easily recovered by a slight sale price increase and other minor business structure changes. In conclusion, after being informed of these issues, I hope you have reevaluated the main claim, which is cutting government-funded art subsidies will harm our culture and school.
All right, you signposted the claims pretty clearly. On the first point, you're spending too much time rereading the advocate's evidence on this point, and you need to get to the crux of your argument and make a declarative statement. The NEA is biased. They're asking for a budget increase. They have to justify it. That's why they're taking that position. That's what you need to say. You read the, two pieces of evidence that the advocate read already. We shouldn't have to hear that again. I thought your strongest argument was on the third point, where you developed an independent response to the argument about ticket prices and private support, saying, we've got increasing movie theaters, we've got higher ticket prices, we're still doing more box office. All this worry that because the prices might go up at the museums is really nothing to worry about at all, because clearly we can absorb that if there's demand for these sorts of things. So I thought that was the most straightforward argument. Some of your criticisms of the evidence needed to be a little bit clearer, and you need to get to the point, but you projected pretty well. Thank you very much.